We'll go to Sunday Night Football here for our third game. Cowboys at the Giants. Fascinating encounter here. We'll take a look at the betting currently on matchbook.com. You can back on the money line. Cowboys heavy favorites, 1.61. The Giants, 2.52. The point spread sees the Giants get a 3-point head start at over even money, 2.06. And the total for this is 46. And over to you, Sam, on that total. You're leaning towards the over here.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the over. I think this is a really tough game to call, to be honest with you. I look at this, that line is probably exactly where it should be in terms of the spread. I mean, I think the Cowboys will win, but do I want to take on those points? No, not really. I think it's too close. So for me, a 46-point total, we know there's enough quality on the Cowboys side. Obviously, Tony Pollard's going to be RB1 now. CD Lamb, we know all about him. But the Giants, in theory, they've got a lot better than they have last year. There's been some new incomings. I think they really overachieved last year in comparison to how good their roster actually was. But now I think he's everybody's sort of tight end sleeper kind of thing. But Darren Waller, he is going to do well. Let's be honest. He's going to have a huge target share there. And I think he could cause the Cowboys some problems. So yeah, for me, I think this game's going to be a 27-24 Cowboys probably, but I'm not going near the result. I'm just going to take the over, which is the line's at 46 at the moment.
Okay, over 46, 1.94. I know Judah drew. It's a fascinating handicap, but past at the current price. Anything very briefly to add, because I do want to get to any other bets eventually.
Yeah, well, I'm glad Sam brought up Waller, because that's ultimately what kept me off the Cowboys in this game, and that's ultimately what kept me off the under. The Cowboys look like a tight end funnel on paper. I don't know how else you would attack this defense. And we didn't see, I thought Dan Quinn did a great job of scheming up his defense to stop Dable's, particular, concepts last year in both contests. So, and he's got the personnel to do it this year outside of the off-ball linebackers. So, that's sort of the distinguishing part of the game that I'm going to be watching pretty closely. Otherwise, this looks like a really nice matchup for the Cowboys offensively. I like I like just generally the idea of, if you have a strong enough offensive line to handle the front four for the Giants, then you can really put Wink Martindale defenses in a tight spot. He doesn't have the secondary, I don't think, to really kind of leave his corners on an island against the likes of CD Lamb in particular, but Brandon Cooks as well. I think CD Lamb is probably he ought to be favorite in sort of the top receiver market for week one. I would think he should be, at least. This is a really nice matchup for him. And so in the same sentence that I was a little cool on the Kellen Moore era in Dallas, I think people have oversold the impact that McCarthy's going to have into the negative for this Dallas offense. Yeah, they might be as good. They might be better. I think that part of the distribution hasn't really been, carefully thought through. So, for me, I lean Dallas, but the market is funny because they're going to write a lot of Dallas -3 at -122. They're going to write a lot of Giants +3.5 at -125. Like this is one of those where, the side is about right, but it's going to drive a ton of action both ways at super juicy prices. So this is the bookmaker's delight of the week.
It hooks you in, especially the Sunday Night Football when everyone's not got off to a good start. And Judah, same with you as Drew in terms of it is a fascinating handicap. The three you guys agree on that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a slight lean towards Dallas. I think the matchup really sets up well for them, kind of as Drew said. Especially if the offensive line's picking up the blitz. Wink Martindale, the Giants defensive coordinator, loves the blitz. That had the highest rating in NFL last season. That's an area in which Dak has been particularly good, and especially if they're picking up blitzes and you've got one-on-one coverage with CD Lamb. I mean, that's not a matchup that favors the Giants at all. I do think that the spread is mostly right. I think ultimately the game probably comes down to how well Daniel Jones can avoid pressure. If he's getting off scrambles for positive yardage as opposed to being sacked, I think the Giants have a shot here. But I definitely lean Cowboys just by virtue of the matchup. And I think, as Drew said, a lot of kind of overselling of McCarthy. They talk a lot about wanting to run the ball, but that seems like a stated preference. The revealed preference seems to be that they're going to pass. They signed Brandon Cooks. They let Ezekiel Elliott walk. Again, it's uncertain how they're actually going to attack. So it's just a lean on the Cowboys. But I do think they have the slight edge if I had to choose one.
Yeah, the Cowboys -3 is 188, so it is trending towards that 3.5, which again, but look, they're only leans from the guys as well. So